Good morning, student. Welcome to the third lecture of fifth unit. In the last lecture, we have discussed about addition and subtraction of logic unit. Okay, in that we have discussed about what is overflow concept. So, what is overflow concept? In arithmetic, overflow can only occurs when the sign of two operands are the same. Okay, and in this case, overflow occurs when sign of the result is different. There are two rules in the overflow concept. First one is the sign of two operand must be same and sign of your input and sign of your output must be different. Only that case overflow can occur. Along with that, while operating operations on 2's complement number, there are again two rules. First one is first we have to find out 2's complement of that particular number, that means 2's complement of y, and then we have to add that y with x. That is overflow concept. After that we have seen the expression for overflow, that is xn minus 1 into yn minus 1 into sn minus 1 bar plus xn minus 1 bar, yn minus 1 bar and sn minus 1. This is the simple expression. Just only consider it is x, y and sum plus x bar, y bar and sum. Okay, so overflow occurs when the carry bit Cn and Cn minus 1 are different. That means your input carry and your output carry is different. So alternative circuit for the detection of overflow can be obtained by implementing the expression, that is Cn XOR Cn minus 1 with an XOR gate. Okay. So in order to perform operation on 2's complement, that means on x and y, first is that 2's complement of y and then second is that add it to x. Now let's see an example. So in 2's complement number representation, n bit represents value in the range of minus 2 raised to the power n minus 1 to 2 raised to the power n minus 1 minus 1. Okay, in 2's complement number representation, n bit represents value in the range of minus 2 to the n minus 1 to 2 to the n minus 1 minus 1. So let's consider if your n is equals to 4, then what will be the range? Your range will be 15 to 14. Okay, so using 4-bit ranges, for 4-bit range it is minus 8 to plus 7. Okay, so when result of arithmetic operation is outside the representable range, that time it is called as arithmetic overflow. That means if it is out of the range of 15 to 14 and minus 8 to plus 7, it is called as arithmetic overflow. Let's take an example. Plus 4 and plus 7. So binary representation of plus 7 is 0 1 1 1 and for 4 is 0 1 0 0. Now these two are the sign number because they are positive number. Then what is 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 carry 1. Okay, now here carry out is 0 because no carry is generated through this addition operation. Okay, now 1 0 1 1. What is 1011? We have seen the sign and magnitude table. In that, in 2's complement, 1011 is minus 5 and your carry out is 0. Look here. In 2's complement number for minus 5, the binary representation is 1011. So, while adding two sign numbers, here we get 1011, that means minus 5 in 2's complement form. Okay, and your carry out is 0. Now though the sign of two operands must be same, here the sign of two operand is same, but your carry out is 0. That means our second rule is, we are following the rule number 2, but rule number 1 is not followed here, because our input carry and output carry must be different. Here input carry is 0, that means there is no carry, and your output carry is again 0, because your carry out is 0. That means here overflow does not occur. Overflow must be occurred when we satisfy these two conditions. Okay, now let's take another example. Minus 4 and minus 6. Okay, now again the sign of two operand is same. In 2's complement, minus 4 representation is 1 1 0 0, and minus 6 representation is 1 0 1 0. This is 2's complement 4, and this is 2's complement 6. Now what is the addition? 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 is 0, and now here carry out is 1. Now here we are satisfying both the conditions of overflow. That means the sign of two operand is same, carry in is 0, and carry out is 1. That means the sign of input carry and sign of output carry is different. That means here overflow is occurring. Okay, now this 0 1 1 0 in 2's complement form, this 0 1 1 0 is positive 6. Okay, and carry out is 1. So the addition of number with same sign cause carry overflow, but addition of number with different sign cannot cause carry overflow. Okay, so there are two conclusions. Which are those? First one is that overflow can occur only when adding two numbers that have the same sign. Another is that the carry out signal from the sign bit position is not a sufficient indicator of overflow when adding sign numbers. And the simple way to detect overflow is to examine the signs of two sum uh, two summands, that is x and y, and sign of the result. When both the operands x and y have the same sign, an overflow occurs. And when sign of sum is not the same as the sign of x and y. In simply, the sign of input carry and output carry must be different, and sign of two operand must be same. These two conditions we have to follow. Okay. After that, another concept is that we have to draw logic circuit for detecting carry. Now to detect carry, we require some OR gates, XOR gates. Now this is the addition and subtraction control line. So what are our inputs? X and Y. So first input is x0, y0, y1 up to yn minus 1. In between there is yn. Okay. Then yn minus 1. Now another input is that x0, x1, xn, and so on up to xn minus 1. Okay. So this is the control line. From here we will get carry input. Now we require carry output. So our carry output is Cn. Okay. And after that we also need sum, that is S0, S1 up to Sn minus 1. This carry is also Cn minus 1 because our input are from 0 to n minus 1, 0 to n minus 1. Okay. And from here we will get carry in, that is C0. Okay. So this is the logic circuit for binary addition and subtraction. So initially this control line is set to 0 for addition and applying y vector unchanged to one of the adder input along with carry in signal, that is C0 0. So when addition or subtraction line is set to 1, the y vector is 1's complement by the XOR gate and C0 is set to 1 to complete the 2's complement of y. That means first we have to apply 1's complement, and to make it into 2's complement form we have to add 1 to it. So 2's complement, a negative number, is done in exactly the same way as positive number, and XOR gate can be added to this figure to detect overflow condition. So what is the overflow condition? For overflow condition, we have one expression, that is Cn plus Cn minus 1. Okay, so this is the logic circuit for detecting carry overflow. Okay, after that we have to design fast adder. Okay, now in the last lecture we have seen how to design ripple carry adder, how to design cascaded adder. So in simply we can design fast adder by using n-bit ripple carry adder. So what is the block diagram for n-bit ripple carry adder? First we required one fast adder, one full adder. Inputs are y0 x0, carry in, sum is 0, and carry out is C1. Because it is C0, it is C1. In the previous lecture, we have seen that it is Ci and Ci plus 1. Then we need another full adder. Now what are the inputs? Y1, X1, sum 1, and so on, Cn minus 1. Now your carry is Cn minus 1 because we have to design fast adder for n-bit ripple carry adder. Now if your input carry is Cn minus 1, what will be your inputs? Yn minus 1, Xn minus 1. Your sum will be Sn minus 1 and your output will be carry out, that is Cn. Okay, so this is the n-bit ripple carry fast adder. As your carry is propagated through from one full adder to another full adder, it is called as n-bit carry ripple carry adder. Okay, so this is the design for fast adder. Now after that we have to form expressions for the carry look ahead addition, the most important topic. It will be asked in your examination. Carry look ahead addition. Okay, now fast adder circuit must be speed up the generation of carry signals, and the logic expression for the sum Si and Ci minus 1 carry out of stage 1 is that in the first lecture we have seen that the expression for sum is that Xi XOR Yi and Ci. Okay, and for carry Ci plus 1 it is Yi Ci, Xi Ci, Xi Yi. So same in look ahead carry adder, the expression for sum Si is what? Xi XOR Yi XOR Ci. This is expression number 1. And Ci plus 1. The expression for carry out Ci plus 1 is that Xi Yi plus Xi Ci plus Yi Ci, and this is expression number 2. Okay. Now factoring equation number 2. This is equation number 2. We have to factor it. So Ci plus 1 is equals to what we can do here? Xi yi as it is. Now from this term Ci can be common term. Okay. So how we can write it as Xi plus yi into Ci, because Ci is common in both the terms. Okay. So again we can write it as Ci plus 1 is equals to this Xi and yi is replaced by Gi plus Xi plus yi is replaced by Pi into Ci. You are getting my point? Where Xi and yi is equals to Gi, Xi plus yi is equals to Pi. So we put these two terms here. Xi into yi stands for Gi, Xi plus y stands for Pi. Okay. Now G for generate and P for propagate function. Okay. For stage I. We can also write here for stage n or for stage n minus 1. Now what is our expression? Ci plus 1 is equals to Gi plus Pi into Ci. Okay. Now just look here. Ci plus 1 is equals to Gi plus this Pi. Now again here we can write it as, for this term Ci, Gi minus 1 plus Pi minus 1 into Ci minus 1. Now what is this? For Ci plus 1 it is Gi plus Pi into Ci. Now we can replace this Ci. It is Ci plus 1, it is Ci. That means to form the expression for Ci we can write it as I minus 1. Okay. Simple expression, but it is for I plus 1. If we have to remove this 1 and we have to write expression for only I, so how we can write it as, this Gi term will be replaced by Gi minus 1, this Pi term will be replaced by Pi minus 1, and Ci will be replaced by Ci minus 1. So this expression is for the term Ci. This is for the I plus 1. We have to just remove this 1. That means to remove this 1 we have to minus 1 from this I term. Okay, so this Gi is at is this, Pi is at it as it is, and for this Ci we have written new expression. Okay, now what is the final expression for it? It is Gi plus Pi into Gi minus 1 plus Pi into Pi minus 1 into Ci minus 1. Multiply this Pi with this whole bracket. Okay, now let's take an example. For example, we have written C4. So what is the C4? It is G3 plus P3 into C3, because it is minus 1. Okay, Gi minus 1, Gi minus 1 plus Pi minus 1 into Ci minus 1. This is the term for Ci. Gi minus 1 plus Pi minus 1 into Ci minus 1. So it is minus 1. That means for I it is C4. That means the value of I is 4. So for C4 it is G3 I minus 1. So 4 minus 1 3. Then Pi minus 1. Again P3 into C3. Okay. Now we have to factorize this expression. So C4 equals to G3 plus P3 into. Again we can replace this C3 by this expression. So for C3, that means here the value of I is 3. So here G will be 3 minus 1. That means it will be G2 plus P2 into C2. Okay. Then again factorize it. G3 plus P3 into G2 plus P3 into P2 into C2. Okay. Then again next G3 plus P3 into G2 plus P3 into P2, and again we can replace this C2 by again this expression. It is C2, that means G will be 1, P will be 1, C will be 1. Okay, again factorize it. G3 plus P3 into G2 plus P3 P2 G1 plus P3 P2 P1 into C1. Okay, then G3 plus P3 G2 plus P3 P2 G1 plus P3 P2 P1, and the C1 is replaced by G0 plus P0 into C0. Okay, and now we get C0. Now we cannot decrease it by again 0 minus 1, that means G minus 1, P minus 1 and C minus 1. We can't do that. Okay, so this is the last step of our expression. So it is G3 plus P3 into G2 plus P3 P2 G1 plus P3 P2 P1 G0 plus P3 P2 P1 P0 and C0. So this is the final expression for this C4, and such type of expression is called as carry look ahead addition. Okay, so this is about the carry look ahead addition. Now what will be the block diagram for this carry look ahead addition? We have seen the example for carry 4 bit. So 4 bit carry look ahead logic. We have to implement 4 bit carry look ahead logic. So what is the block diagram? First simple concept is that first use adder. Okay, here we write it as B cell because this is for 1 bit cell. Okay, what are the inputs? Y0, X0. What is the carry? C0. Okay, we get S0. Now here only difference is that what we are getting? We are getting G0 and P0 for input 0. So here we are getting P0 and this G0. Here is carry look ahead logic. This is carry look ahead logic. We have to pass this G0 and P0 to this carry look ahead logic, and we have to pass carry 0 again to this logic. Okay. Now after that we have another cell. Here sum is generated S1. Propagate function is P1. Generate function is G1. Inputs are Y1 and X1. Then another block B cell. Inputs are Y2, X2. Sum will be S2. Propagate function is B2 and generate function is G2. And the last one block B cell. Input is Y3 and X3. Here it is S3. Propagate function is P3 and generate function is G3, and our carry out is C4 because for 4 bit we need carry C4. Okay, and here the output of carry look ahead logic is P0 and G0 for ith function. Okay, so this is the 4-bit carry look ahead logic. So the carries are implemented in the block labeled as carry look ahead logic, and adder implemented in this form is called as carry look ahead adder. So delay through these carry bits and 4 gate delays for all these bits because there are 4 gates. So your carry is delayed by 4 gates. So in comparison, 4-bit triple carry adder requires 7 gate delays for S3 and for S3 and 8 gate delays for carry 4. But in look ahead logic, we need only 4 gate delays.